the nurses would come in and other medical professionals would come in and say, how could you have had a heart attack? You're fine. Nobody could understand why I was there. Nobody could believe that I had had a heart attack. So it was December 5th, 2012. I was working around my house. Kids were little. They were running around. I was making dinner. There were outside stresses going on in my life. A very stressful time outside of the house. A doorbell rang, and it was one of my very dear friends who came over to give me a hug, tell me he loved me, that everything was going to be okay. He did that, and then he went on his way. Doorbell rang again, and it was the young man across the street, maybe 15 years old at the time, didn't have his house keys. So his mom said he should just hang out with us until she got home, which turned out to be a blessing because he took the kids upstairs and was playing Legos with them. And I was finishing making dinner and getting everything ready, and my husband called and he said he wanted to Skype with the kids. So I'm trying to Skype, the dogs are barking, it's just chaos everywhere, and all of a sudden I feel this pressure in my chest and I felt a little nauseous. And I've got my husband on the phone and I'm sitting there trying to figure out how to Skype, and the pressure on my chest got heavier and heavier. And I said to my husband, I said, Dave, I think I need to just sit down for a minute. I'm not feeling well. And then all of a sudden it got heavier and heavier, and it felt like shooting arrows down my arm, down my left arm. And I said to him, I said, Dave, I think I'm having a heart attack. And he said, well, call 911, expletive, expletive. And I said, no, I'm just gonna sit this out. So I'm gonna hang up with you and I'm gonna sit down and this'll pass, it's just stress and I'll be fine. And he said, call 911, you jackass. I'm like, okay. So I got on the phone with 911 and she asked me if I had any baby aspirin in the house. So I got the baby aspirin, she said, take 5 of them. I took 5 of these chewable baby aspirin. Thank goodness Peter was there. That was the young man across the street. He took the kids, was playing with the kids. They never even saw any of this. The paramedics came in, there were 3 paramedics. They laid me down on the couch. They started taking vitals. They said I was having a heart incident. And they gave me, I don't know what they gave me something else. And the pain was intense at that point. Kevin, my friend, came back, so Kevin was there to hold my hand. And shortly after, my dad showed up, and the mother of the boy who was taking care of my kids came. So I knew my kids were taken care of. I had Kevin and my dad going to the hospital, so everything was going to be okay. The last thing I said to the paramedics before they took me out of the house was, can I say goodbye to my kids? And they said, no, time is essential right now. We need to get you to the hospital ASAP. So I didn't get to say goodbye to my kids, which was kind of scary. The doctor who saw me, the cardiologist on call, he said, this isn't right, this doesn't look right. So he was knowledgeable enough to look for something out of the ordinary, and he found a tear in my left descending artery, and was able to manage it all, saved my life, because everybody who I've learned from since, if you wait, you're out of luck. So it wasn't my time, and thank God for the Dr. Salinger was his name. And from what I've learned more recently is he diagnosed a few women prior to seeing me. So he was one of the few doctors at the time who was kind of tuned in to what to look for. And had he not known, I don't know if I'd be sitting here doing this. The crazy thing about it is everybody said, why are you here? You can't be having a heart attack. I was in ICU for 3 days, which was horrible, because after the first day I was feeling fine. The doctors put me on several different medications. So over the next couple months, I took my medication as I was supposed to. I slowed down. The medication made me incredibly tired, and I hated the feeling, but I understood that a heart is a muscle, and they told me I needed to rest it. And I understand that because as an athlete, when you get injured, what do? You rest the muscle that's injured. A little more difficult with a heart. The way you rest your heart is a whole bunch of medication. I didn't like the medication, but I knew I had to do it. And I went to a couple of different cardiologists, and I asked them, I said, do I need to stay on this? I hate it. It makes me tired, makes me feel crummy. The blood thinners scare me. I said, I'm 48 years old and I'm healthy. So not one cardiologist could definitively say that I needed to stay on it, but none of them were prepared to take me off of it. And the reason is there's no documentation. There's nothing that says this is the protocol, this is the course of action. Is it healed? Is it not healed? There's no way to know. Is it going to happen again? There's no way to know. So I kind of took it in my own hands to unself-medicate, and I took myself off of everything. And over the years, I have tried really hard to keep my stress level in check. Whenever I could feel the anxiety kind of moving up, I would take a deep breath and try to figure out how to bring it down. And I'm very conscious of that still. I don't want to go back on any of the medication. I want to try to manage the anxiety and stress, knowing that this could happen again to me. And there's no way anybody can tell me if it's going to happen. A year after I had my incident, I ran a half marathon with a bunch of my girlfriends, and that kind of told me I was okay. I think the most important thing is if you don't feel right, what do you have to lose? A couple hours? Drive yourself to the ER, call a doctor, go check it out. The alternative is just not good. They kept saying time is muscle. That's what the paramedics said, and that's what they were saying in the ER. Time is muscle. So the longer you wait, the more muscle damage there will be. I'm fortunate that the damage done to my heart was very minimal because it was such a short amount of time. And the doctor assured me that if I had tried to sit it out, bad things would have happened. The other couple cardiologists I went to really didn't seem well versed in it at all. I got lucky. If it had been a different cardiologist on call, they might not have been able to figure it out. You know, he happened to know, but I don't think others do.